Hi everybody, this is Alice Bejeweled Hedgehog back again for yet another vlog. Yay for all of us. We are all sticking to it. And welcome Daryl Kwan. I still have not seen your videos, your vlog. Well, I've seen your videos. Haven't seen your vlog yet because I have just been really, this has not been a good week time-wise. But as soon as I make this video, one other video, I'm going to do a video response to Xanda's question about books and upload a video I made for you guys this morning. I am going to sit back and relax and watch some and crochet. So anyway, I thought I would, I guess, cover my goals really quickly. I'm down to 2 this week since I accomplished 1. Let's see, as for the negative self-talk, I am still working on it, and that may have to be an ongoing goal. It is harder than it seems, and it's not just going to resolve itself, in a week. So that one might just carry over for a while. But I am definitely working on it. And, I'm surprised. There are other people who have said they had that problem, and you'd never know it. You look at them and say, what on earth could they say about themselves that are negative? And yet there may be people who think that of me too. So it's just one of these personal things. And I think as long as we are aware that it's there and we're working on it, we're all set and on the right track. And then as for the yoga and the stretching, I watched a wonderful video response. Hey, I got a video response from Poet Spice. Thank you, Jamie Lola Tallulah. And I picked her 3 recommended videos and went ahead and went over to Amazon and ordered them because they all kind of are, they're different flavors. The Yoga Quick Fixes addresses certain problems, many of which I have, and I love that idea of being able to have a problem. They have headache, they have PMS, they have fatigue, they have stress, and being able to do maybe a short 15-minute routine to solve a specific issue. AM PM yoga, Kelly says great things about that too, so that's like a must-have. That's my starter DVD. And then my nieces express interest in time to time, and although they're young, they've had various after-school activities and classes, and I think the older 2 have taken yoga and enjoyed it, but there's only so many things they can do at once, and then the next time they signed up for it, it would be some an activity. It would be gymnastics or ballet or something else. So I figured that they would be very interested in dancing with your chakras, or anyway, the one that involves dancing. That will appeal to them, and if I can take a video over there and do it with them, that'll be a really fun way of exercising. So yay, got that one down. Okay, let's see. I really should, when there are actually things I want to talk about, I should write them down, because I believe that my webcam emits these rays that freeze what few brain cells I have and enable them, disable them so that I can't think. But anyhow, let's see. As for the book club, so many good ideas. The first thing I wanted to say is I'm going to put out some options tonight, and then I'd like comments back on these options. When I initially thought of it, the first thing I thought of was we would pick a segment of the book, probably a chapter, and then we would give a certain amount of time to read it. I'm thinking, depending on the book, depending on the size of the chapters, a chapter a week would be doable. And then if you got behind because you had a crazy week, you'd only be 1 chapter behind, and then if you had a good weekend, you could sit down and read the extra chapter to catch up without it being, because the whole idea, and I know this because I've had a frantic week, the whole idea behind this is that it's supposed to be a fun, enjoyable way of reading and sharing with friends. So I had thought, and several commenters had thought about breaking it into segments. So that's the first question. Do you want to break it into segments and have maybe weekly check-ins and comment sessions? Or do you want to read the whole book and then maybe do something once a month to talk about your overall impression? And I am bringing that up because my brother-in-law goes to a book club in his neighborhood, and that's the way they do it. They select a book at one meeting, they get it, they all read it, they come back and talk about it at the next meeting, and then the next book is selected. And the way they do it is each person chooses a book. I guess, I don't know how many there are. I think just assume that there are 10. So 1 out of 10 times it's your book, and 9 times it's someone else's. And the idea that I had come up with was, I want to put that out there as an option, that everybody leaves back a comment they'd like to read, they'd like to participate, and they can either do it by making videos or by commenting in some way. And I haven't decided how we're going to handle the logistics yet, online and Facebook or whatever. But I wanted the book selection. My initial idea would be, and I think I got got this from Bruno. I can't remember who posted what comments, but we all put up a list of books that we would be interested in, and then we take a vote. And the criteria for the book would be that it has to be available in paperback, even though that would exclude some of the hottest, newest titles, because that way nobody would be restricted by just not wanting to go out and spend $20-some. So paperback means it can be reasonable, and you can even find it used. So that is something that I would really like to put out there as a base requirement for any books that are chosen. I was thinking that each person could submit a comment. After we decide how we're going to do this, we'll have a comment video or a comment page of a list of books they would like to read, and then we can do a poll, because I see there's some kind of poll set up on Facebook for the Crochet Along Afghan. I just went on Facebook and I made a vote. Small triumphs, but I'm pleased with myself. I'm patting myself on the back. And then I'm going to add a stipulation. If one of those books is picked, I don't want people to get so picky that we can't read the same thing. But if a chosen book, somebody says, "Oh my, I read this already and it was horrible and I just don't think I can go through it," maybe we'd move down to the second one. I don't want to pick a book that for whatever reason is offensive or just somebody doesn't like. I don't mind if I've already read the book, because I reread books very often. So I would say, there are enough people that have said they were interested that I would like to say, let's pick 5 books each, if that's okay. Let me know if you have any other numbers. But I guess I'm asking you 2 questions now. Do you want each person to just pick a book? We'll enter all the names, we'll randomize them, and let's just say Kelly Tulip Sun comes up as number 1. This would be Kelly Tulip Sun first. She'd pick her book. No, whining, no complaining. If you don't like it, don't participate. If that's what you guys want, that would be good. And I know with my facial expressions, I'm probably completely giving away that I sort of like, the more democratic solution. But, that works for my brother-in-law and his group. So, the other option is that we all put up our favorite books, or books that we are interested in and have not yet read, and we do 5 each. And then we take a poll, and we see what we want, and whichever one gets the most votes is the one that we select. And again, if somebody really, really, really has a strong objection, then we move down one. But, I don't think any of us would pick any objectionable books, so I'm not really too concerned about that. So, I know I ramble and it's kind of hard to tell what my questions are, but my basic questions are chapter at a time, book at a time, which would basically mean weekly or monthly. And one person decides on the book or we vote on the books. So those are the two questions there. And then the other thing is I like to have YouTube kind of as the base forum, for this. But just like with the crochet along, a Facebook page might be good for like doing the poll and for people. I know that YouTube, I know when I leave my novel length comments for people, I have to like leave a comment, break it apart, leave a comment, break it apart. So I have never said enough on Facebook to know if it's that way or if it just lets you say what you want to say. So we could do what we're doing for the crochet along, which is have a YouTube day where we say, okay, it'll be this Wednesday, and everybody who can comes on and talks about their book. As a matter of fact, we could, not just talk about it, but work up some questions. Maybe, I don't know, am I the leader of this? Maybe I could come up with some questions just so people would have some footing to start with. I could come up with some questions and then people could take it from there. They could say anything they wanted to say, but at least having a couple questions would give you an idea of, how to get started. So, what I'm thinking, and then I'm really open to ideas on this, because what I would have to ask as a favor from someone who is participating and willing to do a favor is that they figure out how to handle the Facebook part of it, because I really don't know. So we would set up a Facebook page, and let's just say it was, Book Club Friday, and everybody would come on, and I would post the questions, and so you'd know what to talk about, and then you'd talk about whatever else you wanted to talk about, and we'd all make a bunch of Book Club Friday videos. And then the non-video responders, the people who wanted to participate without making a video, could shoot over to the Facebook page and talk about what they'd just seen, all in one place. That way, you don't have to, read the comments under each person's video and wonder, well, what if somebody posted something interesting on Alice's page, and then she was the first one I watched, so there's been a whole bunch after, blah, blah, blah. It's just, if you want to see the written comments, they would all be on Facebook. That's just a thought, except I would need a volunteer to do the Facebook part. We could try, I know that if you do Uvu, or something, I think you can have more than one person at a time. I don't really know how that works, and that somehow you can set it to record. So we could actually have a kind of a roundtable discussion of however many people fit on Uvu or something, and then you can record them and broadcast them. That is a little more than I kind of want on my plate right now. I would like to start with something a little simpler, and then maybe move into that later. So, yeah, if people want to get back to me about what type of setting they want and how they want to select the books, then I can just move right into the book selection, and then we can get started, because I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, oh, the other thing was I had mentioned a jewelry swap. And I would love to do a jewelry mixed media, or really any kind of jewelry swap. And you don't have to be a jewelry maker per se. One cool thing about mixed media is I'm thinking you can do anything you want. You can crochet jewelry. You can mix it up like I do, and like Jamie Lola Tallulah does. Anything you feel like putting together. I know my nieces do these elaborate, they take embroidery threads, and one of them, I don't know how she does this, she puts her foot out in front of her and like wraps it around her toe, and then does all this quick elaborate braiding, but it's not just like, the 3 strands, it's like a whole ton of them, and that she can make amazing bracelets like that. So anyway, there's whatever you want, but that one is kind of being postponed because I am interested in participating in the crochet along, starting the book club, and I have some family stuff going on, and so I need some time. And also I have a bunch of personal catching up to do with other personal things, and so I'd like to wait about maybe 2 weeks on the jewelry, if that's okay. So anyway, let's see. Oh, my duck hat. I have a duck hat. This is the first and probably only character hat I have made. And as you can see, there's really very little sewing involved. In fact, I think it was actually, was it sewing? Yeah, it was sewing. And that was what made me swear I'd never sew again and I'd actually glue. I did sew the eyes on and put eyelashes on them. But I'm just not a sewer. I just would prefer not to, but this was a hat I made for my youngest niece's 10th birthday party last May, and her theme, since her nickname is Duck, was rubber duckies. And so I dressed like a great big giant ducky. I made my hat that I wore to the party, and I wore an orange t-shirt and a bright yellow skirt, and at 10 she was not embarrassed. The older niece, the one that was 14 at the time, I think wished that, the ground would swallow me up or at least make me dirty, so I wasn't quite so bright. So I am wearing this hat in support of Duck, because Duck has reached issues with her room, and my sister is really, really tired of it. We have, she's tried the punishing, the taking things away. She was deprived of her CD player, which is something she adores, for 2 weeks, and that didn't do anything. And, now basically my sister is down to, she's going to offer her some rewards. And if the rewards don't do it, something big and dramatic is going to happen. So, tomorrow evening I am going over there and we are going to sit and we are going to go through that room. She's messy like only a 10-year-old can be, and this is reaching serious proportions because they do have mice, and mice like to eat food, and if you keep leaving leftover cookies and chips, bags half full of chips and all that kind of stuff, and crumbs that are buried amongst layers of dirty clothes and comic books and whatever, my sister's not going to get rid of the mice. So, I'm going over there tomorrow in the evening, and we are going to start on her bookshelf. That's what my sister has assigned her. And everything that's not books, like, dirty dishes and food and clothes, have got to come off the bookshelves. And my sister bought a bunch of cardboard, I guess, magazine holders, because she has a lot of magazines and, organizers. And we're going to really organize that bookshelf tomorrow night. And the reward for that is Friday. Instead of having to clean something, she will get to go to A.C. Moore and pick out some spray paints. And one box at a time she can take outside and spray paint it and make it really cool, and then, put her stuff back in. And then she wants me to have a sleepover with her Saturday night so that we can spend Sunday, finishing up cleaning her room. And I had been sitting here, all week long crocheting this gigantic blanket, which is getting to be pretty big, and it was meant for her birthday. But my sister came up with the idea that if she really finishes her room by the end of the weekend, then she can have it then, and it can be put on her bed, and she'll have this nice fresh clean room with these little painted boxes, or boxes in the process of being painted, and a new bedspread. Oh my gosh, I've talked for 19 minutes. So anyway, those are my plans, and I just wanted to comment on Hunger Games. I had gotten it as an audiobook, and I listened to it sometimes when I crafted, and I just kind of put it off for some reason. I mean, I knew a lot of people were reading it, but the premise sounded depressing. And it's funny because I read other books that are depressing. Maybe it's being an auntie and having nieces that are the age of, the main characters in Hunger Games, and the concept of there being a reaping with them involved disturbed me. But the funny thing is, my sister's family bought the book this past weekend. The two oldest girls have already read it. My brother-in-law was reading it the other night when I was over there, and they are all loving it. So I sat down and started listening to the audiobook again, and I got sucked in. So now I am becoming a Hunger Games fan too. So that's interesting. Okay, that's it for today. I'm probably forgetting a million things, but that's it. So anyway, I did another balcony video this morning, and I will get that uploaded. And I want to talk to Xanda and Tarsier Pearl because she asked me about books. Oh no, don't ask someone who lives in the equivalent of a used bookstore a question about books. You'll get far more of an answer than you ever wanted. Anyway, bye everybody.